Not your typical diva. Meet Diva Hatami, who at the age of 52 has become world champion in stand-up paddling, also known as SUP. And while this diva may look like a Wonder Woman and is a successful athlete, wife and mother, her life hasn't always been smooth sailing.
I fell down on my hand, I broke it, and had a cast. 2 months later, the cast was off, but necrosis started to develop. I went through surgeries, and as a result, my body reacted with an autoimmune illness which causes red blood cells to act the same way as leukemia. I was only 14 years old. It was a process of 3 years, and all of my childhood dreams were thrown to waste. My friends continued their lives, and mine just came to a stop. While spending 3 years in operation rooms, I started suffering from an eating disorder. And back then, society wasn't modern enough to talk about that, and knowledge was scarce. So I was going through this with a big hole in my stomach. One day, an expert came from abroad, and he thought he knew how to treat it, so he gave a medicine to me, and the disease went away as if it had never existed. By then, I was already 18 years old, and I was keen to restart my life.
And although Diva was out of hospital, her life was not yet back on track. The Israeli army refused her request to enroll her for service, and the doctors were not certain about possible future effects of the disease.
Back then, there were only 100 people with the illness globally. Doctors had no idea how to treat it. In Israel, they've not even heard of this disease. So doctors had very little knowledge, but they proposed that being young as I was, I had a good chance to recover. But they also predicted that I won't be able to give birth as a result of this illness. And when I married, my husband was aware of the fact that he wouldn't see any children for me. However, 5 years later, we started trying, and today I have 2 pairs of twins.
The gift of life in itself could count as a happy end to this story, but one more twist proved the world is her oyster.
My husband got a gift card for a SUP class around 6 years ago, and he's not a morning person and also not a sea lover. And he also has migraines. So he gave me this card and he said, "Sorry, I can't. This isn't for me." But being a person who doesn't throw away things, I kept this card for several months.
Discovering SUP fresh off the boat quickly became a life-changing experience.
When you paddle against the sea, you're actually against yourself. You need a lot of courage to do it. It doesn't come from the sides. It comes straight to your face.
And if taking SUP classes wasn't enough of a challenge in itself, Diva decided to also take up professional competitions.
I heard about a race for 220 kilometers in Holland for 5 days in a row. I don't know why, but it sounded unrealistic enough for me to decide to enroll. It was September of 2016. With God's help, I've completed it. And even before I came back to Israel, I took another challenge on. Same thing, but nonstop without any breaks. So in September of 2017, I went to this competition.
Though not all the competitions were successful, Diva kept failures at bay.
But no way. It only gave me a push to come back and do it again.
The sport has become Diva's inspiration, something that gave her mental and physical force. And not only her.
My mother had cancer, so I felt that I needed to find some parallel universe, a more sane one, to be able to deal with the reality. So I started to take part in competitions. I started winning competitions and bringing medals to my mother. Doctors told my mother she'd only have another 3.5 months to live, but she was alive for an additional 3.5 years. I'm sure that I managed to beat the cancer.
During the coronavirus pandemic, Diva, who was devoting a lot of her time to SUP surfing, made up her mind she had one more big goal to accomplish.
I had an old dream maybe one day to take part in a world championship. For me, it was the same as if you say that you want to fly to the moon. The gap was that big from all points of views, mental, physical, knowledge, age, but that was my decision. First to an international championship comes a woman the age of 52 without experience. It was the first time that a woman came to an international championship at the age of 52 without experience with the SUP from 2015, while all the others had all the latest equipment. All the big names were there. And me, Lady Diva. Several times I was close to victory, but I lost.
And yet, Diva was not willing to give up and decided to change the gears on full speed.
I decided to do something crazy, to buy a new SUP board, one that I never surfed on even once before. I got on this SUP board 1 hour before the race, and the unbelievable happened. Really unbelievable. I won the technical race, which is the most prestigious for the World Championship, and I became world champion. I was shivering. It was my dream, but what were the chances of it actually happening?
Today, Diva is a sub coach and helps others to achieve their dreams.
לתת להם את התחושה
I want to give people the feeling that they're the same as me, that they can start from a low point and get to the point only they'll choose.
And of course, she has her next personal challenge in mind.
בנובמבר 2023.
In November of 2023, a world championship is taking place in seas similar to our Israeli waters. So from there, from Thailand, I want to bring to Israel not only one gold, but all of the gold possible.
Go on, Diva.